Hello everyone. The purpose of this video is to give you a quick introduction into the capabilities of the FortiNAC solution. The FortiNAC solution can provide security event automation, orchestration, and network access control. Starting at the dashboard, I'm going to show you how easy it is to access various elements of FortiNAC and then walk through visibility and how it provides insights into your network infrastructure, the endpoint devices, users and applications, and then the control and response aspect of FortiNAC. FortiNAC does not require the use of mirrored ports or span ports or tap ports and hence can be placed anywhere in the network. A centrally located appliance can manage multiple locations. All of these networking devices are discovered and FortiNAC communicates to these devices using variety of protocols such as SNMP, CLI and API. Let's log into FortiNAC. Once you log in, the first thing you're going to see is the dashboard. The dashboard provides a nice holistic view and you can refine the view to the devices and applications. Here you can customize the panels on the dashboard. You can add, remove the panel, or you can directly click on the mark here to remove the panel. The Network Devices Summary panel provides a summary of the devices in the network and the status. You can click on the number of wireless access points, for example, that are operating to drill down into the details. On the host summary, you can also click the total number to see the list of unregistered hosts and then take appropriate action to either allow or deny them onto the network. You can also bookmark pages for quick access to frequently visited pages. You can customize this bookmark from the bookmark menu here. Also under admin users, you can restrict access and track administrative changes by creating various admin users and setting appropriate rights as shown in this screen here. Next, the admin profile is where you create new profiles. And then once you create them, you can assign it to the users that you just created. Now let's start with visibility. FortiNAC provides visibility into your network devices, endpoints, users, applications, and network connections. To view the devices in the network, you click on the Network Devices drop-down menu and choose Topology. On the left-hand side, the devices are organized in containers. The containers are typically based on location or building but can also be based on roles or types of devices. To view the live inventory of the network connection database, which contains your devices and applications, you can use the host drop-down menu and select the host view. Here, select all to see all the devices in your network. You can also do a quick search using name, user ID, host name or device. You can create custom searches and store these search criteria. I'm going to do a quick search on a criteria called IoT that I have previously created, and it should list all the IoT devices in the network. You can also go to the user view and search by the username and see all the devices that are registered and associated to a particular user. Let us look at a user who has a Windows 10 machine here, and we can dive deeper into the host. We can take some action on this device. For example, you can take this device offline by hitting the red button here. Also from within the host, on this host view, you can see all the network information, the user that's logged in, and also the MAC address associated with the host. Also, if you want to view all the applications, you can click on the application view on the left and see all the applications on the network. You can also just highlight any application, right click and say show host to view the hosts that are running this application. Now let's look at the control part, which includes endpoint compliance, access control, and guest management and onboarding. Here is an example of endpoint compliance scan. Different scan can be used for different devices and users. You can go to the endpoint compliance here and scans and click on the scan. On the Windows, Mac and Linux clients, we can scan for presence of anti-spyware, antivirus software, and make sure that the virus definition are up to date on the host. We can also scan for operating system version, version level, and you can block a device from connecting to the network based on the operating system. Here we can also do custom scans that will look for a specific file, a specific running process, or do domain verification checks. For dynamic access control, you can put users and hosts into specific VLANs or network segments by creating network access policies. The network access policy here consists of a user host profile and a network access policy. This is an example of a user or host profile. The where is from any location on the network. The who, what is either domain user group or the domain computers group, and these groups are all brought in by Active Directory. And you can also do a who, what by attributes. You can specify when based on the time of day. Note that there are multiple ways of defining what criteria would dictate a user host profile. The network access policy configuration simply shows the VLAN that will be assigned to the host based on the policy. Now on to guest management and onboarding. When an unknown host or a device connects to your network, FortiNAC will immediately change the VLAN on the port to the isolation network. The host will then be redirected to the captive portal page. The portal configuration can be done here. The captive portal page is fully customizable and there are many possibilities for guest and onboarding customization. You can also send an SMS text to the guest user with the guest's new login credentials, or you can allow guests to access the registration page which is shown here. Once authenticated, the user will be moved out of the isolation VLAN and onto a valid VLAN. Now moving to response. With response and security automation, we can significantly reduce the time from which a security threat is identified on a host to the actual containment of that host. To achieve this, FortiNAC leverages its own live inventory of network connection database and alerts from the integration with next-gen firewalls such as FortiGates. Let's look at a security rule called IoT ICO. This rule will tie together a trigger to an action. Here is an IoT security trigger, and that's going to be triggered whenever there is a related event. Here the action is set to automatic and action is set to disable the host. Under actions, there are different things you can add to this disable action here. We have this disable host set here, but notice we can add more events or more actions. We could add another one, and this could send an email so that it could send one to a ticketing system, and it would send all the information of the event and what's known about the host. Also, it can send an alarm to an external log host such as FortiSIM with all the information about the event and the host that caused that event and the automated actions that were taken. And lastly, we have an analytics and reporting appliance that you can connect to from here. The live inventory of network connections is replicated to an analytics appliance that essentially makes a historical inventory of network connections. The appliance analyzes long-term network access data to provide a unique perspective on endpoint devices. FortiNAC Analytics leverages data collected to deliver actionable reports that allow you to make informed decisions based on the connections being made to the network by examining trends about your devices, the users, connectivity, and the duration of the connection. The analytics appliance can help you build a long-term IoT strategy, plan for your network profile, device and user behavior, and mitigate risks. Thanks for watching.